Hello, my name is Jen Shampoo and I am BadgerLink's trainer. BadgerLink is Wisconsin's online library, providing Wisconsin residents with a collection of licensed, trustworthy databases and online resources from these 6 content providers. Today we will be reviewing 2 resources, NoveList and NoveList K-8, and these 2 resources are from the content provider EBSCO and are provided through the BadgerLink collection statewide and paid for with state funding. NoveList is a fiction reading recommendation resource. It is important to note that in searching within this resource, you are not going to find the actual books themselves, but supplementary content on the book, such as book reviews, information on the title's genre, appeal terms and themes, read-alikes, recommended reading lists, book club materials, media mentions, and diversity resources. Many of these tools are for you as a librarian to assist your library users in reader's advisory or finding titles they will love to read. You can also find materials for your library work around planning displays, providing programming, and enhancing collection development. You can also share this resource with library users as a way for them to find new titles to read on their own. The link on the slide is the same one found on the BadgerLink website and that you can add to your own library and district web pages. When sharing this resource, it's always easier once you know all of what a resource can provide a library user. So today we're going to highlight both materials for you as a librarian and tools that may be worth sharing with library users when helping to find their next read. I am also going to briefly show NoveList K-8 today, which is a subset of what's available in NoveList. NoveList K-8 only shows titles for young children to teens without the adult content available. So you and your young readers can feel comfortable and really focus on titles based on their level of maturity and text complexity. But I'm going to start from the NoveList homepage. And throughout the session, I'll be sure to point out what may not be available in NoveList K-8 before ending with a brief overview of the differences between the two at the end. NoveList search features include title. So up here at the top in the search box, they include title, author, and series, as well as keyword. Sometimes you or your library users know what they want. So if that's the case, you can add words to this basic search box and be on your way to utilizing this resource. As I said at the beginning, you're going to find book information here. So typing in a title of a book leads me to this book's record. And here in the book record, I'm going to see a brief description of the plot. Information on the book's genre, themes, as well as appeal terms, book reviews here below, and read-alikes over here on the right. You can also utilize the lower half of this book page for advanced searching features based on genre, appeal terms, themes, and setting. But what if I'm not sure about the title I want? If you or a library user are looking for a specific title and only know a few descriptions of the plot, you can type that in to this basic search box as well and try to discover the title or similar titles. So for instance, I recently couldn't remember a title of a book I'd read a few months ago, and I typed in sister's boyfriend, pool, and car accident. And I know that probably might not mean anything to you if you haven't read this book, but those are words that I could describe the plot of this book that I remembered, but I couldn't remember the title of. So I typed those words in, and it wasn't the first few, but it definitely turned up here in the 6th search result, and it's called Notes on Your Sudden Disappearance. So I was able to, with just a few descriptive words of what I could remember, discover the title and the author of that book. And I'm hitting the NoveList logo up at the top here to get back to the home page every time. So what NoveList and NoveList K-8 are really good at is browsing titles based on some specific components of the book you like, but may not be sure of the words to clearly describe it. For example, right from the homepage of the resource, you can browse titles by recommended reading lists, genre, and appeal terms. So we're going to start with recommended reading lists over here on the left, kind of side margin. These are broken out by age group, and as you can see, NoveList provides this adult titles by default, but with NoveList K-8, you'll only see the rest of these age ranges, which is teen, ages 9 to 12, and ages 0 to 8. And those recommended reading lists change as I click through on those age ranges. These lists are rich in content and browsability with a wide array of genres and subject areas available. These book lists could also give ideas for displays or book clubs or other programming in the library. And there's quite a few adult, but there's also quite a few teen and into the other age ranges. You can also browse by appeal terms. Here lower, kind of in the center of the page where all these book covers, eye-catching book covers are. This is under the I'm in the mood for books that are section. These are also broken up by age range. Again, with NoveList K-8, you won't see the adult, but you will see the teen ages 9 to 12 and ages 0 to 8. You can select the appropriate age range, as with the recommended reading lists, and change the different appeal factor combinations. So for teens, there's intricately plotted and complex characters, as well as lyrical and character-driven. For ages 9 to 12, there's spunky and amusing, and action-packed and attention-grabbing. And ages 0 to 8, there's fanciful and whimsical and cartoony and anthropomorphic. So right away, you can sense that those aren't the usual genres found in the library. Those appeal terms go a little bit deeper into what makes a book liked and enjoyed by the reader. I encourage you to try the appeal mixer down here underneath this link that's underneath the book covers here in sort of the middle of the page. And I encourage you to try this appeal mixer on your own. In playing around with what books you enjoy to read, you will then be able to share this reader's advisory tool with library users in the future. So instead of genres or themes, here you are selecting from different appeal factors. So characters, you can decide which kinds of characters you really enjoy reading about. You can also select pace, illustration, storyline, just all sorts of different types of categories, and then those characteristics that you might not be sure, or you or your library users or students might not be sure what it is about a book that really they enjoy, and you can do that here. So you can find characters that are authentic and a tone that's atmospheric, and you can find titles by selecting those two. You can select all three. You can select one of those appeal mix terms and get some titles. Again, this appeal mixer is broken up by age range, so you want to make sure that you are on the proper age range when you're working with the appeal mixer, if you're working with students and younger readers. I'm going to go back to the home page. So underneath the appeal mixer and appeal terms are the browse by genres area. Again, this is broken out by age range. Again, NoveList K-8, you are only going to see the 4 teens, the 4 ages 9 to 12, and the 4 ages 0 to 8. So further down the page, there are some pages to explore, especially for librarians. These explore pages contain information that's created by librarians either working in the field in libraries or novelist staff who are also librarians. So we're going to go through these relatively quickly. Explore Book Club resources contains articles written on best practices for leading book clubs and suggestions of titles to include in your library's book club. There's also a few ready-made lists of book club titles, including best of the year lists and lists based on age range or created by celebrities here at the bottom. I'm going to go back to the homepage again. Another explore page is books in the media. So books in the media helps you track what books are creating buzz. You can select this browse by show or media outlet page to have a breakdown of various media outlets and the shows that are contained in those media outlets. And you can then see what books are being discussed on any given show. So for instance, I like Fresh Air by NPR. I like listening to that show. So I can click and select that and see all the books that they've recently discussed on the show in a novelist search results list. I'm just going to use my back arrow twice and get back to the books and media page. There's also this section from page to screen where you can see all the page to screen books within Novelist by selecting again that page. And then as you can see, search results, these are all books titles that are based on TV shows or movies. This can also be helpful in providing reader's advisory to library users. Again, as with appeal terms and genres and themes, favorite shows and movies can be another component in finding your next favorite book, especially maybe with the younger crowd. It could be a great way to get them into reading books. And then there's the celebrity and media book clubs towards the bottom here. So that is the Explore Books in the Media page. Again, these are all pages, Explore pages that are right here on the home page, just a little bit lower down underneath genres. We're going to quickly go to Explore Diversity Resources, and this page provides tools like lists and articles on highlighting the diverse books at your library. So whether that's in a display or a program or also a book club setting as well. Again, the home page, and then this last page is Explore Themes. Themes is a really great, unique tool in Novelist, and this page helps you kind of unpack that with explanations, ideas. There's also a featured theme, and this featured theme had me down a bit of a rabbit hole recently, as a lot of things about Novelist do. But the themes really get at some of those more nuanced components of a book that makes you realize what you love reading about it. So for instance, I realized that I like this fish out of water theme. And you can select the link if that's the featured theme. But you can also go up here to the top to the basic search box and type in capital T, capital H, and write and type out the phrase or the words that describe that theme. So my one that I'm really into right now is fish out of water. And you can click search, and then you are able to get all of the books that are listed in that theme within Novelist. So you can see the books that you've read in this theme, the ones that you haven't yet, get some ideas for your next reads there. For instance, I've already read this first book, so I can select title read-alikes or author read-alikes to get more of an idea as to what books I want to read. You can also narrow down this 222 books of this theme by using the refine results over here to the left. You can narrow down by age range, publication date, and then as well, you can do some narrowing by genre or additional themes that some of these other books have, all sorts of things. It really ties it all together when you're doing a search for a theme or even a particular book, and you're able to just capture all of these different components of the book that NoveList provides you. If the theme fish out of water is something that's grabbing you right now, you can also create an alert for this search over here on the right-hand side, right above the start of the search results. So I'm going to select create alert for this search, and I'm able to sign in to have emails sent to my inbox that allows me to see additional books that are added to this theme and things like that. There's some general settings as to how often I want this to happen. And there's also an RSS feed if you subscribe to an RSS feed reader. So something to note, you can sign up for a free account through EBSCO to utilize NoveList, for instance, to utilize the alerts, but you're not obligated to sign up for this account at all in order to access any of the content in NoveList. It's purely optional for you as a librarian or any of your library users. You can also utilize a temporary folder option by adding titles to the folder up here at the top. There's also a little icon over here to the far right of the book information on the search results page, so you can temporarily add some titles to your folder up here at the top. And in clicking that, I can print and email and save this list of titles that I compile. Maybe when you're working with a library user, you guys compile a list together, and then you want to print, email, and save that and send that off to that person once you're done. Just please note that if you step away for an extended period of time, or if you click out of this in your web browser, you will lose access to those titles being in your folder. This is just a temporary folder. Again, if you would like to store the items in the folder for a future session, you can sign up for that free account and sign in, and then they will be there the next time you're there. The final two features here at the bottom are highlighting the featured award winners of late, and then this Reader's Advisory Toolbox. And I'm just going to click on this very briefly. This is sort of the one-stop shop page of many of the other pages we've already viewed and mentioned. So there's a media mentions information up here at the top, and then as you scroll down, you'll see articles from librarians on using appeals, on using genres and themes in NoveList, and best practices for readers advisory, book clubs, book displays, all sorts of things. So that I definitely encourage all the librarians on the call to check out. So that is the homepage of NoveList. I'm going to now click briefly into NoveList K-8, just briefly go over the differences. So as you can see, really the main difference between NoveList and NoveList K-8 is, again, the adult tabs, titles, and the themes are not contained here in NoveList K-8. So while NoveList is displaying all the age ranges, you're going to see age ranges of younger readers as the default and as the only means to search for titles. Two specific differences I want to point out very quickly are this working with youth page at the bottom. This goes into specifically featured content within NoveList for those age groups of younger readers, and then also the genre guides. There's a lot of genre guides for younger readers here within NoveList K-8 that might be helpful to check out, again, for your library work, displays, programming, and utilizing this resource as well as your collection with younger readers. One other last main difference is that NoveList K-8 does not have the themes that we saw within NoveList. So there's the recommended read lists, there's the appeal mixer, there's even an appeal mixer just for those age ranges. Here you can definitely get your teens and younger readers to utilize that appeal mixer to find new titles. And there's the genres, but there are not themes within NoveList K-8. That is an adult-only option for searching for titles within NoveList. In briefly highlighting NoveList and NoveList K-8 today, I hope an idea for using and sharing these resources in the library has been sparked. If so, I hope you'll consider sharing the direct resource links to these resources if you're not currently. You can find those direct links on the For Library staff page at the URL provided here in the slide under the Getting Started section. You can also integrate NoveList and NoveList K-8 into your learning management system, library management system, and single sign-ons like ClassLink or Clever. Please reach out to us at badgerlink@dpi.wi.gov to begin that process, as those links that you'll find on the library staff page are not what you need to integrate into your single sign-ons and other systems. Please be sure to share these BadgerLink resources with your library users, since we know that resources that are shared are used, and thank you for promoting and supporting BadgerLink in your libraries and schools.